Feel alive when I'm in this zone. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me. Nothing can break me. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Watching the stars in the city lights, rise from the stars and you wanna need to know, never ever let you go, deal what you tell. Surrounded by cars, it's such a sight, watching all the lovers fall into the night. All the moons in a heartbeat, we're going back where it all began. The same ground under our feet, starts to shake with your all we can. Winter turned to spring, I remember everything from Wichita.
So my friend